a landslide victory for Narendra Modi. The BJP-led National Democratic Alliance has swept the general election with its biggest ever tally of 333 seats. The BJP has won 282 seats on its own, even as the Congress, led by Rahul Gandhi, suffered its worst ever defeat. The party has made a clean sweep in Gujarat, Rajasthan and Delhi, while in UP it has managed 72 out of total 80 seats. Modi has created history by winning the Vadodara seat by a margin of 5,70,000 votes, and in Varanasi he has established a massive lead of over 2,60,000 votes over Arvind Kejriwal. Modi will be sworn in on 14th as the 14th Prime Minister of India next Wednesday. And let's take you to our special election verdict discussion with Dr. Ashok Gulati, who's Chair Professor, Agriculture, ICRAIR. Also joining us in the studios is Vijay Bhamwani, who's author and CEO at bsplindia.com. Dr. Gulati, hi. Let's start with you first. And it's the NDA which has come in with a thumping majority. The BJP is as well. The market reaction clearly has been something to watch.
Well, it's a very clear mandate that is being given to NDA, and I think the Indian voter needs to be congratulated for that, because if it is an indication at all that they are casting their vote for development, controlling prices, against corruption, and they are demolishing for the first time perhaps the politics of religion or caste or any particular community and tribes. So they have risen to real issues rather than the petty issues which was holding India back. So I'm very happy that Indian voter has matured.
Dr. Gulati, according to you now, the new government that would be formed by Narendra Modi, what would be the top three things that the government would really need to look at as a priority?
I think, as proverbial saying is, what the government can do in the first 100 days, that sets the tone for the next 5 years. And I think first biggest thing that they can do, and they should, for the common man, is to tame food inflation and bring it below 5%. If you recall, during the Vajpayee period, food inflation was less than 4%. And today it is hovering between 8 to 10%, and that is not good for the country. And they have fought the election saying that they will bring down corruption and they will bring down inflation. Corruption will take a longer time to tackle, but food inflation can definitely be brought down to less than 5% in 3 months' time. And how it can be done, I can get into the details, but India is very, very fortunate that government food grain stocks it is holding are way, way above what is needed for the National Food Security Act. So if you decide to liquidate those stocks, say tomorrow you announce 15 to 20 million tons of food grain stocks need to be offloaded in the open market at a price which is equivalent to, let us say, the last minimum support price plus 5%, then immediately it will have a salutary impact on food inflation. On the question of fruits and vegetables, you can bring down the tariffs, which are ranging to 30 to 50%.
Fair point, Dr. Gulati. Vijay, getting you in the conversation as well. We have been talking about the food security and, of course, the inflation concerns in the market. Of course, we have a majority in hand now, but the reforms and the kind of steps that the government take will really be in focus now.
Absolutely, Manisha. And as Dr. Gulati also pointed out, being a stable and a firm government with a clear majority means that decision making will be a lot more easier. At any given point in time in the food inflation metrics, there is always an element of inefficiencies, for the want of a better word, in the supply chain management. There is profiteering, there is a little bit of price influencing by the intermediaries. Simply by talking down those forces, food inflation can be brought down within a fortnight, if not earlier. So tackling food inflation will not really be too much of a challenge if there is a political will present in the country. And like Dr. Gulati rightly said, the first 100 days itself can hypothetically see food price inflation being brought down, if not significantly, at least noticeably. And I feel that would be a major relief to all asset classes, because if inflation is brought under control, disposable income in the hands of the saver or the investor will rise to that extent, and therefore that money can be deployed in the financial markets for investment purposes. That is what the market has sensed. That is what has driven prices higher in the financial futures and the spot market prices. And I think if at all this agenda is brought to its fruition and is implemented, my guess is there could be further gains ahead in the financial asset classes.
Dr. Gulati, coming back to you then, and what's your sense from various communities that they would be expecting of the new PM now, especially the bullion and the sugar communities? I mean, these are a couple of politically moved commodities, or even as they have seen a lot of policy moves coming in.
You know, I would say some of these specific commodities may take more than 100 days, but they will have to hit the ground running, because even this year the prediction is it's going to be subnormal rainfall. So given that thing, I think price rise question should be dominating their thing, and whatever trade policy, whatever domestic policy on the marketing side needs to be streamlined, that should be done. And whether it is the bullion market or others, but bullion market affects only the top few. I'm talking of potatoes and tomatoes and basic commodities which everybody is using. So they will get politically and economically a big payoff if they pay attention to food inflation first.
Fair point that, Dr. Gulati, but the Indian rupee also seemed to have reacted quite strongly today. We did see a percentage point of a gain coming in during the day. What's your sense now? Suddenly the mood is changing. Do you see it keeping charged as we start the next week now?
You know, expectations do matter a lot. And with now positive mood of the nation, the investments are going to go up. And whatever reforms which were held back because of differences, I would say, in the government or with NAC and other constituents within the system, they can go ahead. And the moment they start reforming, things will start falling in line. And I'm very happy that we can look forward to next year at least 6% rate of growth. And if we play our cards well, as the big ticket items that he has on his mind, building 100 cities or big fast trains, quadrilateral and big ticket items in water investments, and tying up with Japanese or Chinese or any other foreign where the investments are there, I think we should be thinking of not 30 or 40 billion dollars flow, but even much more in the next 2-3 years. Things will start changing quite positively.
Vijay, what is your sense on the rupee as well? Because more than 2% gains in this week, and 11-month highs is where we've shut shop for this week now.
Anisha, I would maintain my view that scope for appreciation for the rupee in the absolute near term will not be significant beyond 58. As a matter of fact, even after the election results were announced, the rupee has not been able to go past the 58 mark. I think that is okay. As a matter of fact, it's even welcome, because any sizable appreciation in the rupee vis-a-vis the US greenback will blunt our export performance. I would prefer it if the rupee was to appreciate after a while, after we manage to basically log a very strong export performance, and the export proceeds, the inflows start to come in, and then strengthen the rupee, because by that action you would have a lot of foreign exchange in our kitty, which would justifiably strengthen our rupee rather than trying to talk the market up. Trying to talk the market up will basically help in the absolute near term, maybe for a couple of trading sessions at best, but it will impact our export performance. I would want a very strong export performance, a good balance of payment, and curbing the current account deficit significantly from here. And then the rupee by itself will appreciate to levels where it has to appreciate. At this point in time, 58 remains a threshold where I would be keen to buy the USD INR in the prompt month futures on the currency derivative segments on the NSE.
All right, so watch out for those kind of levels in the next week as well. But with that, Dr. Gulati, we will let you go. Thank you so much for joining us and letting us know on what the markets really are expecting from the new government now.